Hey, hey, you. Yeah, you in the back, trying to look normal, while your whole life feels like it's humming in the background, like a detonator. Come closer, because we need to have a very real conversation about what's happening to you today. And trust me, you're not ready for how real this is about to get. But you deserve to hear it. Listen, because of what people know about you, special forces got involved. You hear a line like that, and you think it's a joke, right? Some dramatic headline, some movie trailer voice. But no, it's your life, your actual life. And you don't even realize how dangerous, how powerful, how unpredictable you've become in the eyes of the people who underestimated you. You've been acting like you're just surviving, but they're treating you like a situation, like a risk, like a turning point, like someone whose next move shifts more than just their own story. And that should tell you something, shouldn't it? See, here's the thing. People don't admit out loud. Most folks walk around hoping no one notices how fragile they actually are. But you walk around, and people can feel you. Not see you, not hear you, feel you. You walk into a room and people straighten their posture. You talk, and they listen differently. You exist, and the energy changes. You move, and the air bends around your direction. And you think you're invisible because life bruised you. Please, if you were really invisible, no one would have assigned forces to watch you. No one would be whispering your name in rooms you haven't stepped into yet. No one would be triple-checking your history, your patterns, your motives, your future. Nobody assigns special forces to a soft story. They only do that to someone who scares them just a little, to someone whose potential is louder than their past, to someone they can't predict, but desperately want to control. And here's the wild part. You're not even trying. People know things about you that you barely accept about yourself. They know you don't break the way others do. They know you bounce back from situations that should have taken you out. They know you're the one who carries the weight and still walks straight. They know you learned to navigate fire without screaming for help. And they know that if you ever decide to stop holding yourself back, if you ever decide to stop apologizing for who you really are, if you ever decide to stop shrinking so others feel comfortable, then you become the very thing they fear most. A person who knows their own power. That's why they're watching. That's why they're alert. That's why special forces got involved. Because let's be honest, regular people can't handle you anymore. Your story isn't casual. Your presence isn't background noise. The way you think, rare. The way you fight, terrifying. The way you survive, unexplainable. The way you rise, statistical anomaly. You might think you're just doing what you can, but to them, you're a red flag, a wild card, a walking plot twist, a comeback story that threatens their comfort. You're someone whose resilience shouldn't logically exist, and that makes people nervous. Nervous people talk, and when people talk, systems react. And when systems react, forces get involved. And here's the real mind-bender. They're not watching you because of what you lost. They're watching you because of what you still have, because of what you didn't break, because of what remained standing when everything else collapsed. You've been operating like someone crawling out of the wreckage, but they see someone walking away from the explosion without a scratch. They see someone who shouldn't be breathing, yet is planning the next move. They see someone whose silence is louder than most people's noise. And that is terrifying. People know things about you they wish they could unknow. Like the fact that you can love deeply without begging. You can walk away without warning. You can rebuild without witnesses. You can rise without applause. You can lose everything and still keep your self-respect. You can be betrayed and still remain dangerous. And if people know that about you, if they've seen even a glimpse of it, If they've heard the stories, the rumors, the whispers, then yeah, of course, special forces got involved. They don't get involved when you're weak. They get involved when you're becoming something. Because the truth is, you've been walking around your life like a sleeping weapon, a quiet storm, an unactivated code, a locked file with information no one should have. And now, people know. And when people know, they try to contain what they can't control. But here's the twist they didn't expect. You're not containable. You're not predictable. You're not programmable. You're not breakable in the ways they assumed. You're not normal strength. You're survived too much to go back strength. You've lost everything and still kept going strength. You've turned betrayal into blueprinty strength. And that scares the life out of them. So let this sink in for a second. If special forces got involved, it's because you're entering a version of yourself that requires monitoring a chapter where your growth is dangerous, a stage where your confidence shakes the room, a mindset where your presence is a warning sign. People don't assign forces to protect someone who blends in. They assign forces to protect someone who's about to step into power. They can't stop because of what people know about you. They're preparing for a version of you that hasn't even fully arrived yet. And you can feel it, can't you? That weird tension in the air around your name. That pressure in your chest you can't explain. That quiet awareness that people are paying attention to you in a way they never used to. It's like you're walking through your own life, and suddenly everything feels monitored. Not in a paranoid way, but in a recognized, noticed, someone finally understands your impact kind of way. And it hits different when you start realizing you weren't imagining it. People really have been studying you, observing your resilience, measuring your reactions, watching how you handle betrayal, how you handle disappointment, how you walk away from situations that would have shattered most people. They've seen the way you stop giving CPR to dead connections. They've seen the way you don't crawl back to people who threw you away. They've seen the way you keep moving when the whole world expected you to crumble. They've seen the way you hold your own when no one holds you up. It's wild how you've been downplaying your own strength, while whole groups of people have been compiling intel on it. They're whispering things like, why are they still standing? How did they survive that? What kept them alive through that storm? What else are they capable of? And you think you're just doing your best, but people have watched you handle seasons that would have turned them into a cautionary tale. You handled them like a spoiler alert. You handled them like someone who got tired of waiting for help and became their own rescue team. They know you're different. They know your heart isn't built like the average person's heart. They know you don't break in the same direction. You break forward. You break upward. You break into versions of yourself they weren't prepared to face. There's something unsettling about a human being who refuses to stay small after being underestimated for years. Something unsettling about someone who gets up quietly without screaming for attention. Someone who stops complaining and starts building. Someone who takes pain personally and turns it into fuel instead of excuses. You've got people who tried to write you off, who are now silently replaying everything they ever said about you. You've got people who thought they could just replace you, realizing they lost someone irreplaceable. You've got people who doubted your discipline, watching you move like you've been training for something bigger than the life you were handed. This is why the atmosphere around your name changed, why the energy shifted, why the forces got involved. Because when you stop needing validation, you become a threat to every system that relied on your self-doubt. You ever notice how people look at you differently? Now, not with pity, not with judgment, but with this uncomfortable awareness, like they're unsure what version of you they're dealing with, like they can't quite read you anymore. Like they know you're awake when they expected you to stay asleep. That's what happens when someone grows in silence. You didn't post your healing. You didn't broadcast your rebuilding. You didn't announce your breakthroughs. You evolved behind closed doors, and when you walked out, they weren't ready for the new frequency. Information travels fast, especially information that scares people, especially information that exposes the fact that you're not as breakable as they hoped, especially information about a person who refuses to remain who they were last year. You've become someone whose life can't be ignored, someone whose presence makes people double-check their intentions, someone whose voice carries weight even when you whisper, someone whose absence is louder than most people's presence, someone whose silence is a strategy, not a weakness. People know things about you, real things, dangerous things, not gossip, not rumors. The truth about what you can endure, what you can rebuild, what you can outgrow, what you can become. And the truth is louder than anything they ever tried to say about you. Your capability, your resilience, your mind, your depth, your pressure, your maturity, your control, your emotional intelligence, your self-awareness, your refusal to fold. All of that has become public knowledge in ways you didn't even intend. You're not a mystery anymore. You're a revelation. And revelations get monitored. Revelations get followed. Revelations get tracked. Revelations get classified. Revelations get protected. Revelations get studied. You've been walking into your life like you don't understand why people act different around you. But they've seen the unfiltered, unscripted version of you. The version you built in the dark. The version nobody clapped for. The version nobody prepared you to become. And that version is exactly why they got involved.